What's up, guys? NBA talk for December 13th, 2017. Wednesday basketball for you. And we're going to talk about this Oklahoma City Thunder versus Indiana Pacers game that's just went down. Oklahoma City Thunder won this game in a very tight battle, 100-95. Very tight game. Went down to the last couple of seconds. Indiana Pacers, Paul George making those free throws to help push them into the right direction, keep them afloat in their lead and take that win. But of course, since I mentioned Paul George, this is pretty much the premise of this video. Paul George's return to Indiana. The trade of Paul George was one of the biggest news this last offseason. Months before, we've been hearing rumors Paul George wants out. He wanted out of Indiana. They were saying that he might likely go to the LA Lakers. And for months, it's been happening. Rumors, talk. Frustration kicking in. And then the Indiana Pacers traded him to the Oklahoma City Thunder to join Carmelo Anthony, who will come later, with Russell Westbrook, who is the franchise player, the former Big Three. So this is Paul George's return to Indiana after being traded. And the Indiana Pacers were not happy to see him. They were booing this boy as soon as he got the ball. And they were booing him really, really hard. Like, constantly booing him and very, very loud. Like, they were disgusted to see him. I've been looking at those comments from YouTube to Facebook, Instagram about the situation. A lot of people are just bashing the Indiana fans for doing so. Keep in mind, because everybody keeps saying that he got traded. He was going to leave them, people. They were going to leave. Paul George was going to leave Indiana and most likely go to LA Lakers. He was not going to stay with the Indiana Pacers. He was not going to stay for the long haul. You have to understand that aspect. I get it. It's frustrating, but at the same time, people keep bringing up the loyalty shit. Keep talking about, he put up a lot in the history. Put a lot for the history of the franchise. Really, he's part of one of the biggest eras of the Indiana Pacers, competing in the Eastern Conference Finals, going up against the Miami Heat with LeBron James and company. They were a team to be feared, one of the best defensive teams for the last 10 years. They were definitely there with the Chicago Bulls, San Antonio Spurs, those guys. He was that guy with that team, Indiana Pacers and all that. But frustration kicked in. He wanted out, and he got out. But the history gets wiped away because, let's just face it, the NBA, there's no such thing as loyalty right now. Loyalty, I'm going to say this. Loyalty is not valued that much in the NBA. Not by the GMs, offices, not by the players. If you're looking at KD, you're looking at Paul George, maybe different circumstances, but there's a thin line. There's a similarity going on here. Loyalty is not the thing anymore. Everybody's in business with themselves. Straight up, period. The fans are in business with themselves. They'll pick whoever they want to pick just to boo the other team, just to hate on the other team. That is always the case nowadays. No loyalty is no longer a thing anymore. I'm just saying. But that being said, let's just get into the stats because it was a very good game, very intense game. Well, Paul George actually was the guy that helped this team over the hump. The first half was bad for the trio, even though Russell Westbrook was racking up those assists, racking up the rebounds. He was not making much shots, and Carmelo Anthony was not making shots. Paul George was not making shots. Steve Adams was the guy who was making shots. He was making shots inside the paint. He was the leading scorer for this team. He was the guy tonight. And Paul George, with the little points that he did, the little effort that he did helped push over the hump. So that's it. Oklahoma City Thunder win this game. So Steve Adams, player of the game, 23 points, 13 rebounds. He was 11 for 16 from the field. And you got this guy Brains with 14 points, 4 rebounds. He was 4 for 6 from the three-point range. And then you have the three guys, the three-headed dragons. Russell Westbrook. He was 3 for 17 from the field. Still got a triple-double. 10 points, 17 rebounds, 12 assists, 2 steals tonight. Paul George, 3 for 14, 12 points, 5 assists in his return to Indiana. Carmelo Anthony, 4 for 14 from the field, 12 points. Carmelo Anthony needs to come off the bench. A lot of people have been saying this. They've been saying this morning. He needs to come off the bench now because this balance is not working. I would even say the bench players were doing much better for the team than the starters, basically. Like Patterson was doing some good things, Grant was doing some good things, Raymond Felton was doing some good things. They need to change the lineup because their offense sucks. Their defense is absolutely great, but their offense sucks. The team shot 40% from the field, 44% from the three-point range, 52 rebounds, 26 assists, 10 steals, 6 block shots. And that's pretty much it for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Not their best game. They did compete, but it was not their best game at all. Especially the 3 starter players, they were not good at all. Paul George maybe towards the end, but his clutchness. But overall, it was not a good game for them. Even with the triple-double for Russell Westbrook, that's just a stat stuffer right there. Nothing that's contributing to the team's winning, because they're still 3 and 14 now. Indiana Pacers, Victor Oladipo, who has been a talk for the last, all day, really. He's been getting a lot of hype right here because the comparisons between Paul George and him. Victor has really taken over this team. He's really improved. He's become one of the most improved players right now. He had 19 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals. He was 9 for 26, which is not good. Not good a shooting night for him. Darren Collison, 14 points. Miles Turner with 9 points, 4 rebounds, 3 block shots. I hope he needs to get better. Bogdanovic with 15 points. Thaddeus Young with 11 points, 10 rebounds, 7 steals, 3 block shots. That's nasty. And then you got a couple people off the bench. Sabonis, who's also a former Oklahoma City Thunder, like Victor, 8 points, 6 rebounds. He was 4 for 6. He didn't take so much shots, but he was efficient. Corey Joseph with 7 points. And you have Lance Stevenson with 9 points. So that's pretty much it. Indiana Pacers fall to 16 and 12, which is still good. They have a better record than the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are 13 and 14. So that's it for tonight. Oklahoma City Thunder wins, but it's really showing that they need to do some changes. Their offense stinks. Their defense is absolutely great, but their offense just can't seem to keep up. And it's weird because the 3 guys who are among the best scorers in the game, Carmelo Anthony for the last 10 years, Russell Westbrook, he's one of the top scorers in the game, and Paul George, he holds his own. He definitely is that guy who can spread the floor really, really well, inside and out. These guys are sucking. They're shooting a very poor shooting percentage. It's not looking good. So, peace.